Hello, and welcome to the Fast Book Pod channel, where you'll find the best book summaries. You'll watch book summaries just like watching a movie. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos for in-depth reviews of great books. Let's get to the book summaries.
Let me tell you the story of fathers and sons, as if we were sitting together, and I am walking you through it slowly, because this novel isn't just about a family. It's about a clash of generations' ideas and entire worldviews. Fathers and Sons was written by Ivan Turgenev and published in 1862. It's set in Russia, at a time when society was beginning to change dramatically. Old aristocratic traditions were being questioned. Young intellectuals were rejecting everything their parents believed in, and right in the middle of that tension stands one unforgettable character, Bazarov. The novel begins with Arkady Kirsanov returning home to his family estate after finishing university. He brings with him his friend Yevgeny Bazarov. Arkady is excited, proud of his friend, and eager to show him to his father Nikolai Petrovich and his uncle Pavel Petrovich. Now, Nikolai is gentle, sentimental, and somewhat insecure. He loves poetry, music, and the old ways of life. Pavel, on the other hand, is aristocratic, proud, elegant, and very attached to tradition and honor. He represents the old Russian nobility at its most refined, and then there's Bazarov. From the moment he arrives, you feel the tension. Bazarov calls himself a nihilist. In his words, a nihilist is someone who does not accept any principle on faith, who rejects authority, tradition, romanticism, even art. He believes only in science, reason, and empirical evidence. Everything else he dismisses as nonsense. You can imagine how this goes over in a household shaped by old values. At first, Arkady admires Bazarov completely. He repeats his ideas. He tries to act as confident and radical as his friend. But as the story unfolds, we begin to see that Arkady is not as extreme as he pretends. He is still emotionally tied to his family and to certain traditional ideas. The real intellectual battle happens between Bazarov and Pavel. Pavel cannot stand Bazarov's contempt for aristocratic ideals. He sees him as crude, disrespectful, and dangerous. Bazarov, in turn, mocks Pavel's elegance, his polished manners, and his attachment to outdated codes of honor. Their conversations are sharp, philosophical, and sometimes cutting. Through them, Turgenev stages the broader conflict happening in Russian society, the old liberal aristocracy versus the new radical youth. Meanwhile, Nikolai struggles quietly. He wants to understand his son. He wants to keep up with the new ideas, but he feels out of place. He has even begun a relationship with a young woman named Fenichka, who lives on the estate and has borne him a child. He worries about how Arkady will judge him. What's interesting is that Arkady doesn't judge him harshly at all. This is one of the first hints that Arkady's nihilism is softer than Bazarov's. After some time at the estate, Arkady and Bazarov decide to travel. They visit a wealthy and intelligent widow named Anna Sergeyevna Odintsova. She is calm, composed, rational, the kind of person Bazarov claims to respect. And then something unexpected happens. Bazarov, falls in love. This is the turning point of the novel. For someone who dismisses romance as weakness and emotion as illusion, falling in love is almost humiliating. He fights it. He denies it. But he cannot escape it. His feelings for Anna grow intense and uncontrollable. Finally, he confesses his love to her. Anna, however, is not the romantic heroine type. She values stability and control above passion. She is intrigued by Bazarov, even drawn to him intellectually, but she fears the chaos he represents. So she gently rejects him. This rejection devastates Bazarov. Not dramatically, he does not collapse into tears, but internally something cracks. His philosophy, which seemed so solid, suddenly looks fragile. If he cannot control his own emotions, what does that say about his belief in pure reason? Arkady, meanwhile, grows closer to Anna's younger sister, Katya. Unlike Bazarov's turbulent experience, Arkady's love develops naturally and gently. He begins to realize that he does not want to reject everything from the past. He wants stability, family, continuity. This is where the divergence between the two friends becomes clear. Bazarov returns to his parents' modest home. His father and mother adore him deeply. They are simple, loving, almost worshipful, but Bazarov feels restless there. He cannot connect emotionally, even though they love him unconditionally. His detachment now feels less like strength and more like isolation. Eventually, he returns briefly to the Kirsanov estate. The tension between him and Pavel escalates after a complicated incident involving Fenishka, whom Pavel believes Bazarov has compromised. Pavel challenges Bazarov to a duel. Yes, an old-fashioned duel. It's almost symbolic, the old world literally confronting the new. They shoot at each other at dawn. Pavel is wounded, but not fatally. The duel feels absurd, unnecessary, and yet inevitable. It represents the final break between these ideologies. After this, Bazarov leaves again and returns to his parents' home, where tragedy strikes. While performing a medical procedure on a peasant, he accidentally infects himself with typhus. Now comes the most powerful part of the novel. Facing death, Bazarov becomes quieter, more reflective. But the arrogance softens. He calls for Anna Orduntsova one last time she comes. Their final meeting is tender, restrained, tragic. He admits his love again, but this time without pride. Soon after he dies, his parents are left devastated. Turgenev ends the novel with a moving image of them visiting his grave, still loving him, still grieving, long after the ideological debates have faded into silence. Meanwhile, life goes on for the others. Arkady marries Katya, Nikolai marries Fenichka. Even Pavel leaves Russia and settles abroad. The revolution that Bazarov embodied does not explode into immediate change. Instead, it dissolves into the slow continuity of life. So what is Turgenev saying? He does not fully condemn Bazarov, nor does he glorify him. Bazarov is brilliant, courageous, intellectually honest, but he is also rigid, emotionally repressed, and lonely. His nihilism frees him from illusions, but it also isolates him from warmth. The older generation, for all their flaws, still carry tenderness, loyalty, and continuity. In the end, Fathers and Sons is not about who wins the ideological battle. It's about how time moves forward anyway. Each generation believes it is right. Each generation thinks it sees more clearly than the last. And yet, love, death, family, and change remain constant. That's why the novel still feels relevant. Because even today, you can see Bazarov in every radical thinker who wants to tear down the old world. And you can see Pavel in every defender of tradition who fears what will replace it. And somewhere between them, like Arkady, most of us quietly choose continuity over destruction. That's Fathers and Sons, a story about ideas. Yes, but even more, a story about being human in a world that refuses to stay the same.
It was a very good book. Did you like it too? You can write your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the next summary.